Hello, my YouTube channel subscribers. How are you doing? Woo, it is hot out here. Now, we're getting ready to get into a topic, and I know I don't have any sponsors, so I'm just going to cut to the chase. I want to thank you guys for supporting my channel, encouraging my channel. I want to thank you guys for the donations. I just want to thank you because without you, you know what? My voice would not be able to get around. So I thank you. And we can cut to the chase because I don't have any sponsors. And even if I did, I would at least try to tell the story before I start advertising whatever it is. Okay. Now, let's get to the point. I want to tell you about a part of the government that a lot of people don't know. And what do they do? And it's part of the judiciary system, but it's on a federal level. And it helps you. It tells you how you could, what you need to do and how you need to do it and what courses that you can take. And one thing about it is that, and then I'm going to tell you about a case that I'm doing that has something to do with that. Okay. Now, for those of you who have filed in federal court, and you get a bad judge that want, and it is, I'm going to be honest, doing pro se, you're going to get that judge. You're going to get a judge that jumps on the defense bandwagon, especially if you got the evidence, you got, you're doing the well pleading and everything, you're going to have it. Now, I'm not an attorney when I start telling you this, so I want you to this is more like an educational thing, okay? I always wonder why when I've been doing pro se for God knows how long. I mean, over 10 years. And I've always wondered why when I first started off and I was making a lot of mistakes and stuff, judges was like, oh, okay. And they dismiss your case, but okay, well, we're going to help you. We're going to do this. Then as I started really, being more aggressive in it and learning the cases and learning the codes and learning the procedures and reading up on it and looking at Black's law and networking with other people, I started to notice something. I start to notice that when you have a well-pleaded case and you don't have an attorney, they seem to try to go left field. Now they're helping the colleagues. They start, doing little things, quick to dismiss it. And then they put out these rulings that you be thinking, oh God, they really looked into my case. Not true. Some judges, you know what? They on the bandwagon and they just jump along with it because they don't want their colleagues, especially if you pro se and you're very educated and knowledgeable of your rights. They don't want you to know. They don't want their colleagues to look bad, especially if you asking for a certain amount of money. They don't want their colleagues to look bad. They'll stop you in discovery because they don't want their colleagues to look bad. That's the game plan. They don't want it to look real bad. So you say, well, what do I do when I get stuff like that? Well, federal court is a little bit different from state court because, but it's the same. Federal court is like you can file a complaint against the judge, but it's going to go to the judge that's over that court district, and they don't have to hear the case. They can just say, well, you know what, you just mad because she's making this ruling and it's not right, it's not going in your favor, and dismiss it, don't have to hear it, and you stuck with that rogue judge, and now it's going to get deep for you. Very deep. So I had that. I experienced that. I had judges that be like, okay, you know what? I'm reading the laws. I'm reading the procedure. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. I'm looking at ex parte. Ex parte means communication between you and the court. We're going to get into that too real quick. You're looking into things. You're trying to find out things. You're trying to do this. Okay, well, you know what? Why did the Supreme Court says this? The appellate court support this. But this judge is doing something so wrong. Well, the recourse is that when you file a complaint against a federal judge and the judge does not want to hear it, you can file immediately. Now, the Sixth Circuit don't tell you this because they don't want you to know. That the Sixth Circuit is Kentucky, Tennessee, and Ohio. Those are the three. So, and Michigan. Those are the four. I'm sorry. Those are the four. Let me say it again. It is Kentucky, Tennessee, Ohio, and Michigan. That's the Sixth Circuit. And a lot of times they don't tell you what you could do when a disciplinary happened. They just say, well, you know what? We don't want to, we don't want to entertain it. And then that judge go rogue on you. Okay. Back to that. So you filed a complaint with the judge against the judge, and it went to the lower level. Lower level says they don't want to hear it. What do you go do? Well, what they call is the next level is called the Judicial Council. You say, well, what is the Judicial Council? I am so glad you asked me that. It makes so much sense. That's why I like talking to you. So anyway, the Judicial Council consists of the chief judges in every district. So when you go to federal court and you start looking at the chief judge is this, because the chief judge switches up so many months. 1 month it may so many quarters. I'm sorry. One quarter it may be for like 18 months or 2 years. It may be that judge, and then she steps down from district judge, and then this other one comes on. But that's why they have the Judicial Council. Now the Judicial Council is made up by one Supreme Court judge, and that judge right now is Roberts. He's over the conference, and he's the head judge, and then all the little judges in the 12 in the district, they come together. So all those head judges, they come together, and that's what they do. They look at the Judicial Council deals with policy and procedures of the court. They also be the ones that tell Congress, hey, you know what, you may need to go and start doing proceedings like impeachment proceedings, or they can ask for an investigation. That's what the Judicial Council do. They go into data of how many people filed, what they filed, what status they filed in, and all of that. They keep track of all these things that come about. So let's say your case is going rogue, and the chief judge don't want to intervene, which is Rule 24. She don't want to do nothing. She just want to, they talk like, I notice they always talk like, well, it's not in my control. You got to go with the flow. That's where the Judiciary Conference come in. That's where it comes in at. Okay. Now, once they come in to play, then they look at everything. They start looking at everything. And that's when they can make a decision about impeachment, investigation, overturn, and whatever. Me, like I said, I take pro se, represent yourself very wholeheartedly, because over the course of 5 or 10 years, pro se's are becoming more filing more cases now than they were a long time ago. A lot of people are being educated. Look at the trend. It used to be a time when I had to use some credentials to go to the University of Memphis Law Library. I don't have to no more. I could go as a private citizen and still get the same treatment. A lot of law places that, like, if they have where attorneys become lawyers. They have that where you could go and be, you don't have to be a law student to go to the law library. In fact, that's what they have. They have a lot of pro se clinics, because the increase of people filing for themselves have grown. In fact, that's why the court are more forcing on, you need to go get a lawyer. You need to go get an attorney. Although that is the norm. Now, if I was in a criminal situation, yeah. Would I get a public defender? Maybe, as counsel. But I would still do the legal research. But my channel here is to tell you, not if you want to do it by yourself, it's when you have a lawyer. Because even if you have a lawyer, sometimes having a lawyer can be more hurtful to you than not having one. Because a lot of lawyers, they look at, what can I get out of it? Which is everything, but you got to understand something. If if you got a bad case, they ain't going to try to get you off. They're going to do as least a little as possible. Okay. So the reason why I'm bringing this to you, you say, well, Samantha, why are you bringing this to me? Well, okay. Over the past 20 years, 10, I'll say 10, I have filed things in federal court. See, Miss Samantha been through a lot. I have. And I learned that, what? No, the United States is not going to give me my rights. I'm going to have to make them. Yeah. And a lot of people are like that too. Most people who are pro se are African Americans. Very little money. Some do it because, what? They don't trust lawyers. I get that. I get it. Even though it's certain lawyers I don't trust, I still have lawyers where, I can go and talk to and advise and stuff. Like right now, I got a case I got a age discrimination case. Yeah, I do. I tell you, it doesn't get any better in my life. I tell you that. I tell you, if you ever want to find out what's going on, inbox me. Anyway, and I took all these cases and I noticed that, as I started doing it, as I got good, they would tell me, they would try, court would dismiss it. Some would dismiss it without prejudice. That allowed me to go to the appellate court. A lot of times they dismiss it with prejudice. Why? Saying it's moot. Why? When the evidence and stuff, presented itself a different way. Now, the Court of Appeals look at things as do nouveau. Like I keep saying, they look at things as do nouveau. And unless it is just, it shouldn't have been done. So, so what I did was, I did. I got my little trusty book. Let me show you. Got my little trusty book with the tabs on it and stuff. And I went through that. And basically, I'm just going to be honest. I charged the United States of being the biggest hypocrite of this country, of this world. You're a hypocrite. The Supreme Court tells us, how they supposed to treat pro se litigants, how individuals are supposed to be treated. And right now, I'm American, but I'm not an American. Because these district courts now have came up with a racketeering where how they want to do things and say things and stuff, and they dismiss your case because they're not trying to help you. They're trying to help their colleagues. And if you don't catch on to it, you're going to end up being a victim. You're going to be messed over by whoever did it. And then because they lawyers are lawyers, that's what it is. So what I did was I compiled all the cases that had happened from 2015 all the way up to now. Now, case in point, I had I'm part of the Equifax breach. I had some lawyers get access to my credit reporting account, not the credit report, the account, where they can make changes and add and delete things. And that was part of their strategy to force me into settlement. And then when I didn't do it, they played with my credit. They add stuff in, they took stuff off. Far as I know, I could have been living in Tijuana. And, I don't just go and say, I'm going to sue you. I give people enough rope to hang themselves. I make sure that I email. Let me get this right now. Let me, because think about it. I'm pro se and I'm this right here. Yeah, I'm using this color. This right here. This still the trip. Yeah, I'm pro se and I'm, and they think because I'm pro se, I'm pro idiot. So, okay, now I'm doing my work. Okay, well, let me get this right. I want to make sure I got it right now. You're going to do this. You have told your client, it was Equifax. You've told your client that you're going to do this. Yeah, okay. I got all the proof I need. When I get all the proof I need, I don't need no more. Okay. Well, I'm tired now. I'm tired. And now I'm finna go. I let them know. Well, now I got enough to hang you. I'll be talking to you later. What you mean by that? Are you talking about physical harm? No. I would never harm. I wouldn't harm a pussycat. But I'm going to harm you. But anyway, and I filed And that's the end of that. So I got a judge that's telling me that what they did was they didn't respond to the emails. They said, well, Judge, look at her. She filing all these cases against everybody and all of that. You need to dismiss it because that's all she do is file cases in them. That's my First Amendment right. I got a right to do it. So I put that case with the United States. I said, you know what? The federal courts are saying they're not even abiding by what the Supreme Court says. They're not abiding by what the Circuit Court says. They got their own little set of rules and regulations. Well, I was thinking, I'm going up against the United States. I mean, of all places, So I was thinking, I said, well, I don't know where this is going to go, but I know I'm going to go there, So today I got a motion, an order. So they don't want to hear the oral argument. Well, yeah, I can do that. But they're going to hear it now. It's not in the appellate court. It's with the Judiciary Conference. Yeah. I'm a little excited about that. I'm a lot excited about that. I'm alive. Because now it's bringing to awareness that these low courts are doing something that's not supposed to be done. They're doing it on their own. Racketeering, civil racketeering, states that all I need to do is do two things. All I got to show is that it's two or more people, and it's a pattern of practice, and it's a criminal activity, which can lead up to a criminal racketeering. So basically, I'm telling the United States, you need to clean house. So I'm looking forward to that. And I put every other case involved, current and former cases together. That's how important. That's why I keep telling y'all about this book. I keep telling y'all about this. Look, I ain't paid but a dime for this book. I go when school, right when school get ready to get out and children climb, I go and get all these little books from Walmart and different places, and that's what I do. So, if anybody say, well, what about this? What about this state and this right here? Boom, I don't even have to really go too many places, because Chattanooga doesn't have a law library. Nashville does, but Chattanooga don't. So I go to Nashville, but that's a pretty big drive. So what I do is I just, I do that, and I make sure that when I'm doing it, I print and I email cases to myself to read later, and I do my due diligence to make sure that I have the cases. So if you ever have now the states don't have that. That's really unfortunately, which they should have, but then, states have it, it may be a good old boy system or, a catch-22, but the federal court has that. So now I'm proud about myself. I really took a lot into doing this, because I'm gonna tell you something. Doing an appellate brief, everybody think when you asking for, like when they call you and they ask you to start a major lawsuit, especially against a major company, and a lot of times I tell you guys, before you start, if you getting ready to head that way, start documenting, start protecting yourself, start photographing, don't stop calling them, start emailing them, that because you can use emails. Stop doing this, because if you not going up against, if you're going up against a peon attorney, the associate, you don't, he don't have no authority. He does not have no authority. All he has is they just hired him, and then they put him down to show what he's worth, and then you're gonna, he gonna play around with you. He can't make too much of a settlement. The settlement is gonna be like PP, and it's not gonna matter anything. But if you got anything that's above an associate, a partner, a counsel, a shareholder. Oh, now these are decision makers. These are the ones that can say, hey, you know what? We're gonna do this, but it comes at a cost, because it comes where they're gonna play hardball. Now, like I said, the attorneys go. I'm going back to the one with Equifax. That's what they thought. That I got some hit major attorneys. They thought I was gonna, I'm pro se. They play hardball, but you know what? I had to play hardball too. And I'm gonna tell you, and I'm a firm believer. Attorneys think that everybody, courts too. Federal court has made so many rulings about pro se litigants. It's not even funny. They stereotype it. They degrade us as you cannot comprehend the law. But my question is, if you can obey laws for driving, laws for not killing people, laws for this, laws for that, what makes you think you can't learn consumer law? Or better yet, learn laws that you would, to sue people. Supreme Court says that the only thing you have to do is put it on paper and let it make sense. Plain statement. That's all. But you got that, they want it as if it's a smoke and it's smoke and mirrors. No, it's not. It's plain and simple. But when you deal with it, when you start dealing with the court thing, you have to deal with, you can't play checkers. You cannot play checkers. You can't assume that the court is going to understand what you're saying, like they're going to be fair because it's a judge. You can't expect the court to say, oh, okay, well, you know what? She's asking for $75,000. You know what? I'm going to give it to her. No, they look at you, your lifestyle, and say, well, what you just want to milk the system. No, I want to be made whole. That's all I want to do. But you can't expect, I don't expect no judge to be fair, especially when I'm filing something. I don't expect no attorney to be ethical, because he's not trying to be your friend. He's being nice to you. He's willing to go. I had one attorney that told me, he said, I told him, when and I'm still right now, I'm waiting on escrow. He said, Miss Roger Pascal, I told him, I said, I'm dealing with the situation, pandemic. I got this card just so I can, go see my dad, my mom. My dad is in his 80s. My mom is in her late 70s and stuff. And, I just wanted to go see him. Oh, Miss Roger Pascal, I'm so sorry to hear that. Sound like he was crying. That fool filed something in court that told me, I bet I see where you were going. I said, okay. I wasn't expecting him to, I don't understand why he would do that. I said, okay, I know how to deal with it. You can't take, and another thing, don't take what they do personal. Yeah, it's personal to you. It affects you. It bothers you. It ain't gonna make no sense to you. But when you start dealing with cases that's personal, and I have done it on a personal level, you gonna mess up every time. You're gonna make a mistake every time, because you're gonna put your personal thing. Only time I put myself in a personal mode is when I'm talking about damages. That's the only time that I put me as personal. And I don't say I address the damages. I do not address. And when I'm doing a court thing and people say, well, God, how you do that? It took time. It's not something that's gonna, because think about it. When you're sitting here and somebody has wrongfully terminated you, can't pay your bills, you're having a hard time, that's personal. That's an emotion, because it's not affecting them, it's affecting you. And you say, well, okay, you typing up your complaint and you become emotional. I've done it. You become emotional because you're reliving what you did, but it's on paper. And you reliving it. And yeah, I cried. Yeah, oh my goodness, boo-hoo. But I had to learn that when I'm typing up something that I really want to get together, I gotta stay focused. That's not about me. Now when I start getting the damages, yeah, I get a little personal. Then when I feel like I'm finna get my emotions, I step back. Go do something. Go clean up, or I'll play with my dog, or I'll do this. Because when I come back, I gotta stay focused, because you know what? I gotta keep my eyes on the prize. And my prize is that I don't want that judge to feel sorry for me. I want that judge to do his job, because I presented a well-pleaded case. That's all I care about. That's all I care about. I don't care if he may not like pro se litigants. I could care less. But you're gonna give me my respect in that courtroom. You're gonna give me my respect when I come. And you know, and I think I'm a finally summarize this in the end. And I'm gonna say, you know, I got a son-in-law that's in the military. Half of my family members have been served in the military. And I had my grandfather is really what kind of did it. My grandfather told me how he went and fought for some other folks in other countries for their freedom and democracy. And then he came back home and he couldn't even get a job. He was called names. He was so segregated. It took the 70s for him to start really, for him to, the late 60s, early 70s, for him to get a government job. A government job. It was just that deep. So I take this beyond, I take this beyond, you know, what's the purpose if we fighting for democracy in the other country, in the other, you know, for whatever freedom, and we don't have it here. And you know, it's like, you know, living in a two-way house. What good is it you saying that it's okay for other people to come here, you know, and don't even have to be citizens and still get the democracy, but then we got people here, and we don't have it. You know, everybody don't have money for an attorney. Everybody don't have that luxury, especially during the pandemic. They don't have that money where they can go and spend $1,300 for an attorney. And then, you know, you got to realize now, I'm not bashing this, but some of that stuff, legal shield and legal protection, that only goes so far. That's for traffic tickets and little minor stuff. That's stuff that's not litigated. That's not for people. Everybody say, well, I got legal shield. Well, yeah, okay. And then I you know, but you calling me, asking me to do something that you had legal shield to do for 10 years or 5 years, bragging about it. But legal shield is not going to go and fight a major case. Legal shield is not going to represent you in a major case. And if they do, they're going to want some money on the side. Because drafting and presenting cases is not something that, you know, oh, okay. Parking ticket, oh, okay. Insurance, yeah, oh, okay. But other stuff, unemployment laws, all of that, they refer you to an attorney. And then you got to pay that attorney. So, like I said, I just wanted to give you an update. You know, I don't keep my videos long. But anyway, I just wanted to give you an update about the Judiciary Conference, what it is, what it does, and how you may be able to benefit from. I want to thank you guys, and tell me what you think. I mean, you know, hey, I got on my Cozy Mail shirt. My son, you know, he bought this. He went to Cozy Mail and Casa Mail. I said Cozy Mail, sorry. Casa Mail. And he went there and, you know, he brought his mama back a shirt. And I kept it for billions of years. Okay. But I want to know, what do you think? What tell me what you think. What would you think? Tell me about the situations that you go through. And like I said, you know, when you're doing something legal, I'm going to be honest, especially if you got an attorney or not, don't just go in there. You know, I'm not saying that Let that attorney earn your trust. Don't just give it to him and then say, oh, I'm giving him that and it's okay. Let him earn your trust. Let people earn your trust so that that makes you more, you're less vulnerable. Okay. Thank you for watching my video, and hey, take care.